So part of the reason that we're doing conscious communication classes this summer for partners, people who are married, for people who are dating or want to be dating, for people who have children, is because these are things that we've worked out and Dana has codified in the Black Belt mind over the years that we've been doing this, that we've just found over and over again make a real difference. And personally for me, I've noticed that as Dana integrates new pieces into the Black Belt mind and starts practicing them on me, usually I can tell when when I'm being practiced on. But these actually work for me. So even when I can tell, like, oh, this is something new that I'm doing, this is something new that I'm trying, I've analyzed all of this and I think this is a new and effective way to do it, what I'm noticing is it still feels good. So the reason we don't like somebody practicing on us is if we feel like we're being played, if we feel like somebody's trying to control us. And the difference between that and the conscious communication lessons is that when we're doing this, we're actually communicating to people more in integrity with who we are. And so we're not trying to manipulate them in any negative way. We're just trying to really assess where they're at, and we're trying to really let them know where we are at. And even if you do that clumsily, it's still better than the old patterns that weren't helping.
Couldn't agree more. I like to work in dichotomies a lot and contrast. So I like to understand what something is as compared to what something isn't, and to...
Funny.
Hilarious. And to define it as such, because it gives us a constant and consistent reference point to work from. So when we've talked about the tenets of conscious communication, the three major ones being hearing versus listening, reacting versus responding, and explaining versus expressing, we can add a subset to those when we're applying these concepts to communication within a partnership or couple, right? On whatever level that happens to be. And I will measure that dichotomy in the contrast of indictment versus invitation. Okay? Oftentimes when we are trying to forcefully get our point across, or we've been in an argument with our partner and we feel like we've been wronged, what we start with is the idea that that person did something to us, right? That's what I'm calling an indictment. Those are like charges. Okay? Those are like somebody proclaiming that you've committed a transgression against them. Okay? Generally speaking, I think it's probably pretty fair to say that none of us feel all that open or receptive when we feel like we're being indicted, right? I know I don't, and I don't like it the way it feels to feel indicted, and it's made me more mindful about making sure that I'm not doing that to Colleen and our relationship, or to anyone in general, because it's not really effective to getting a person to really want to, of their own volition, listen to you, understand what you're saying, consider its meaning, and give you a thoughtful response. When we are consciously communicating, when we are practicing listening over hearing, when we are practicing responding over reacting, when we are practicing expressing over explaining, we're extending an invitation to that person to say, hey, I'm having some difficulty. I'm having a challenge with something that we just went through. I care about you. You care about me. We care about our interaction. I'm inviting you into an exploration with me to figure out where we missed one another, to figure out where we misunderstood what was being communicated. If we can take even that possibility and apply it to our communication with our partner, I can guarantee you that it's going to open up all new kinds of avenue of communication for you both that normally would end in argument, stalemate, disagreement, and long, uncomfortable silences that feel like what they actually are, which are a giant waste of time. So we want to make sure that we can move out of the indictment phase into the invitation phase and practice that as a matter of our regular communication, but particularly as a way to recover from misunderstandings, arguments, and disagreements. Really excited to share those ideas with you further and with more detail.